In Pursuit of Truth. I am Patrick Mack. Want to give a shout out to Chillhop Music. This is the music I listen to when I'm looking at all this stuff to try and keep me chilled out. If you want to hear some of these tunes, go to Chillhop Music. Shout out to them. All right, today we are talking about the Rothschild family. Now, most of you should already know who they are. They are a very prolific banking family that's been around since, looks like here, around the 1760s. The Rothschild family is a wealthy family descending from Meyer Amschel Rothschild. Rothschild in German means red shield, and I believe their name originally meant Red Cross, which is probably where you get the Rosicrucians. Interesting indeed. I'm not going to get much into their name, but Lynn de Rothschild made the news this week. I'm going to talk about her tweet right here that says, come on now, pull it up. There we go. Not that it matters to anyone but me, but I am deleting my Twitter app after this last tweet. To think that Russians have been using all of us to sow discord and destroy America is repulsive to me, and I refuse to take part. The hate and anger on Twitter is out of control. Hashtag goodbye Twitter. Well, I don't know, Lynn de Rothschild, if you had the same week that I had, but I would say the problem is the shadow banning on Twitter would be really the problem. I don't know about the hate and anger. The hate and anger always seems to come from you reptiles. Anyway, so why are we talking about the Rothschilds today? Back in January 31st of 2018, Bloomberg reports that the Rothschilds sell Austrian hunting estate in historic deal. Historic deal, huh? Wow. The Rothschild family sold an Austrian forestry and hunting estate, including a stately lodge and power plants, in what the broker called a historic transaction in continental Europe. At 5,400 hectares, 13,000 acres. The grounds about 2 hours west of Vienna are 16 times as big as New York's Central Park. Wow, that is massive. They were sold by Rothschild heirs Nancy Clarice Tilgman and Jeffrey R. I'm going to say Hoget. Real estate broker Klaus Bischoff said in an interview, "Now, this type of transaction happens once in a century in a family like the Rothschild," he said. "We saw big interest from entrepreneurs from Germany, Switzerland, and Austria." Wow. I'm not going to read this whole article. We got a lot to cover today, but I also wanted to just read this here. "I consider any transaction above 1,000 hectares a big one, so this is exceptional," Bischoff said. Well, anything above 1,000 is big. So we're talking 5,400 hectares. This is a massive property, and this is actually a really iconic lodge for the Rothschilds family. So why might they be selling something so big? Let's hop over here to yournewswire.com. This is as of March 2nd, 2018. Lord Rothschild vows to destroy Bitcoin, launches FedCoin. Interesting, FedCoin. I wonder if that's like FedEx, which is not federal, and I wonder if that's like the Federal Reserve, which is also not federal. You know, it's funny how the Rothschild loves to use the term Fed, but believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing federal about it. Lord Rothschild has announced plans to launch a government-approved cryptocurrency called FedCoin, which he says will completely destroy the threat Bitcoin poses to the US dollar. I'm also not going to read all these articles. We've got a ton to go through, but you can read these yourselves. I'm going to post all the links below. I just wanted to say, where are we here? Over the past few weeks, investors have been flocking to Bitcoin, the digital currency whose value has soared by about 2,000% in the past year alone. And while many economists are cautioning against excitement about Bitcoin, which is caught up in what may be one of the biggest speculative bubbles in history, it's important to note just how revolutionary the technology may be. Okay, so we've got the Rothschild family selling a massive piece of land. They're trying to kill Bitcoin, trying to start their own Fed coin. I'm assuming they're assuming that that's going to give us an amount of trust in it if they call it Fed coin. But let's make no mistake, folks. It's not backed by anything. Just the same way Bitcoin is not backed by anything. Now, I don't have any opinions about cryptocurrency. You make your own decisions. I'm no economist, just telling you the truth. Now, let's hop over here. artnews.com. This one is very interesting. Mr. David Rockefeller. After decades housed partially in the complex that bears its name, the collection of Peggy and David Rockefeller will be sold to the highest bidder at Rockefeller Center. Christie's to sell David Rockefeller estate for charity, $700 million. $700 million. We are not going to go through this article. I will also include this link. However, I just wanted to make the note that the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds are clearly linked, always have been. I actually tried to get this news off of Christie's site itself, and there was just a blank white screen, which I found very, very interesting. But anyway, so what are we talking about with all this? We've got the Rothschilds selling their estate. We've got Linda Rothschild, who has really been a very vocal mouthpiece lately. She's hopping off Twitter. What has got them moving all this money? Well, if you know anything about money, you know that these guys do not deal with any kind of fiat currency. That's for us serfs, if you will. These guys deal in tangibles. They deal in utilities. They want to deal in government. They want to deal in things that are going to give them power, resources. Could be water. It could be obviously politics. These guys have been known to fund lots of proxy wars around the world. They're very influential, and when these guys start moving money, we should be paying attention. So, coming over to Crash the Matrix. Let me give them a, here we go, crashthematrix.wordpress.com. Are the Rothschilds selling? I'm also going to give you this link here. I really don't want to talk about too much, but I just wanted to talk about this right here. Crash the Matrix states, the bond market is vast and liquid, but way overpriced, and the bonds pay in fiat. The puppet masters mainly use the bond market for liquidity, manipulations, financing of companies and governments which serve other goals, and achieving additional leverage over their puppets. If they lose control of a government, or if it collapses due to socialism, it will renege on its bonds. Now is a great time for the puppet masters to dump bonds. Say what you will, but there is obviously something going on here. Now, let's take it all back to why is this important. Ladies and gentlemen, from the White House website themselves, whitehouse.gov, let's go back to December 21st, 2017. Executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the National Emergencies Act, the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act, and then Section 212 of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952. I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, find that the prevalence and severity of human rights abuse and corruption that have their source in whole or in substantial part outside of the United States, such as those committed or direct by persons listed in the annex to this order, have reached such scope and gravity that they threaten the stability of the international political and economic systems. Now, guys, I would love to read this all, but I'm just going to try and highlight some sections. I'm going to put this link below. I highly suggest that I'm going to give this to you in a PDF if I can, and I highly suggest that you download it, get it offline. Make sure that you remember this. This is going to... Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you realize what this is. This is an act of war, essentially. This is the ability to seize assets of anyone who is engaging in human rights abuse. Seizing assets of very, very important people are the only way you're going to cripple certain people that may have a substantial amount of wealth. Now I'm going to take you all the way down here to section... Let's go to section 10. The Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the Secretary of State and the Attorney General, is hereby authorized to determine that circumstances no longer warrant the blocking of the property and interest in property of a person listed in the annex to this order, and to take necessary action to give effect to that termination. The Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the Secretary of State, is hereby authorized to submit recurring and final reports to the Congress on the national emergency declared in this order, consistent with Section 401C. I won't read all those numbers for you there. You'll read it for yourself. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is a national emergency. Executive orders have become more and more prevalent over the years. It used to be a very rare thing, but Donald Trump is clearly sending a message with this. There's the annex right there, by the way. These are all the people that are directly resulted. Going into research with some of these people are probably going to lead to other people, back to people that we probably know. I don't know exactly. So why would these massively wealthy families be transferring all this money, scattering, working so hard against Trump? We're back on yournewswire.com. Lord Rothschild. Trump is threatening to destroy the New World Order. Oh, God forbid we do that, huh? Lord Rothschild has warned that President Donald Trump threatens to destroy the New World Order and must be stopped at all costs. Rothschild family-owned magazine The Economist branded Trump a present danger to the New World Order and admitted that the globalist elitists that formed it are spinning in their graves. Quote, perhaps the greatest danger at present is the incumbency of an American president who despises international norms, who disparages free trade, and who continuously flirts with abandoning America's essential role in maintaining the global legal order, writes The Economist. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think about that. Personally, I am not a globalist. I'm not a fan of the Rothschilds. I think they're up to numerous nefarious activities. But I think their disdain for Trump goes even further and even deeper, and I'm going to leave you with this. This is the Balfour Declaration of November 2nd, 1917. The Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government during World War I, announcing support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, then an Ottoman region with a minority Jewish population, around 3 to 5% of the total. Won't go into this. This is as of Wikipedia. This is the actual declaration itself. Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty's government the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspiration, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. And I can't read the signature right there, but that is essentially the UK's, Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour to Lord Rothschild. Well, as you know, Trump is late last year, declared that Israel would be the national home for the Jewish people. So so it gets really, really tangled. I'm going to leave you with all that. All the links are going to be down below. I'm Sir Patrick Mack. Thanks for joining me. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, like, and share. Patrick Mack, keep it cool.